So today is a very rainy day. Very, very rainy day, and I'm going to make some of these logos. And so I've got my pre-felt here. So this is our Possum-Merino felt project logo, and this large part represents the merino, which comes from my friend Heather Gilbert, who runs Saxon Merino sheep up north of Kaikoura, east coast New Zealand. And then this part here represents the possum fibre, which comes from my friend Julian Bracegirdle, who's in the North Island in the Taranaki area. So the Possum-Merino felt is 25% possum, 75% Saxon Merino, and it makes up this beautifully soft fibre. The sheep are coloured sheep, so that's why we get various different shades of brown. Okay, so I actually used a roll of sellotape to make the circle, and then I printed off the logo and have used sellotape to place the logo, the parts of the logo, onto pieces of pre-felt. So let's say I want to do this part here. So I've cut that out of my printed paper, and I'm just going to put some sellotape and tape it straight onto the pre-felt. So it's quite it's not a loose pre-felt. I've deliberately felted it a few times so that it has strength, so that when I cut it, it will cut neatly, but at the same time it is not completely felted, because I want to have room to be able to felt it into the surface of my blankets. So I'm going to be making cot blankets and single size bed blankets. I can't go much bigger than that, unfortunately, because the dimensions of my felt loom limit the width that I can do, unless I actually sew the pieces of the blankets together. So I'm teaching myself as I go along. I don't know the language of felting yet. I'm sort of figuring it out as I go along, but I'd love to learn the language of felting and learn how to describe felt in terms of its weight per area. But at this stage I'm just sort of making it all up as I go along. Okay, so I've just cut out that shape, which looks nice and neat. So that's that part there. And now I'm going to do the same again for the little bit, which is going to go down here. The little bit is going to be made of a different colour. It's going to be made of this colour here. So we'll just do the same thing again. I'll just sellotape it on. There's probably a more efficient way to do this, but I haven't discovered it yet. So that's how I'm doing it at this stage. With any project, it's always the beginning parts which are the most difficult. We have to persevere and we have to figure things out. But perseverance pays off. Okay, and so here's my little bit, which is going to go right here. Now I need a surface to felt on, and I'm going to get my needle felter and something to felt onto. So this is a cushion I made a long time ago, and I've been using it a lot for different things. Okay, so we want this to look just right. About there, what do you think? Does that look about right? And so I'm just going to needle felt it by hand, basically tacking it into position. And once it's tacked into position, and I take great care with these fine little bits up here, because I want them to look just right. So once it's tacked into position, then I place it on the blanket, my pre-felt blanket, tack that one into position as well, and then I put it through the felt loom. So this will be felted into the blanket using the felt loom as well. So this is a nice rainy day project, and the sort of thing, if you were making something like this for yourself, you could make a stash of logos in advance and then create your products with your logos to go onto your products. So the thinking behind the Possum-Merino felt project is not so much for us to make end products, but to encourage people to use Possum-Merino pre-felts and full felts to make items of your own creation. So the thinking behind this project is that we want to encourage the use of possum fibre. We want to tell our friends, our fibre artist friends overseas, about this beautiful fibre, and also explain the complicated environmental story behind it. But I'll save that for another time. Okay, so that's now tacked into position. I actually got it a bit high there, unfortunately. Wonder if I should move it and redo it. I think I should, because otherwise I'm not going to be happy with that. So there we go. I want just a wee bit of white space just at the top there. So at this stage everything's fairly delicate. But once it goes to through the felt loom, it will tighten up and strengthen up, and then when it gets hot washed and hot dried, all these fibres will really super duper tighten up and they won't come apart, just like I showed you just then. The amazing thing about felt, it's a fibre, and we are the sculptors of that fibre. Okay, let's have a look. Is that a bit better? It's okay. Not very happy with that one there though. It's a bit wimpy, isn't it, that one? Might have to do that one again too. Wrong colour. Come on, Elizabeth. Get it right. There we go. I'm just going to give it a wee bit more width than the other one had because it sort of disappears too much. So I'm just deliberately giving it a wee bit more width. And this should look better. We want it to look, don't we? That's right. Okay. Right. where I live here in Hokitika, West Coast, South Island, it has been raining here for weeks, literally weeks. A couple of days of sunshine when everyone raced around and tried to do stuff, and then the rain started again. So it is definitely another rainy day here. We're not short of fresh water, that's for sure, and it's all beautiful water from the sky. Okay, here we go. Now, what do you think of that? Is that better? I think that's much better. And when that gets felted into the blanket, all of this will blend down like that. It'll look amazing. Okay, there you go. Maybe you have an idea for a logo for your business using Possum-Merino felt.